Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Another episode, Talking Tommyrot. We're on the podcast today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Whatever you're doing, thank you for doing it. This episode, of course, could not happen without Mr. Jace Oreo at Oreo Designs. This baller-ass sign behind me, if you're watching online. How old am I, right? But if you're watching on the tube, he made that shit and it's fucking dope as hell. So check him out if you like things. On Instagram, at Oreo Designs, ORIO, Oreo Designs on Instagram. Check me out as well on Instagram at Garzanate, or search the hashtag Talking Tommyrot. That's where I do my things. I do my things there. But welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. Sorry, I just got a text message there. That's the cool thing about these watches is I'm recording on my phone, but this little watch tells me shit. Hey, welcome. I hope everybody is having a great day and a great beginning to your week. I had a cool weekend. One of my best buds, Trevor, got married to his beautiful wife, Stephanie, and they had a fantastic wedding, and we were able to be part of it. It was really, really dope. So had a fantastic weekend. But I just wanted to have a quick little solo podcast about music. I've been listening to a lot of just going on. I do these things where I smoke a little bit of weed. And I sit in the garage with my headphones on for like 2 or 3 hours at a time, and I'll just listen to a bunch of music and download a bunch of music and just zone out for a bit. So I had a couple of those sessions in the past couple of days, and I was just thinking, like, I don't download a lot of new stuff. Excuse me. All the stuff I download or listen to is, at least 10 years old. Most of the time, 40 years old, 50 years old even sometimes. But it's just like I don't know where music is going, and I don't know what's happened. And I'm not talking about music in general, I guess, because popular music has changed, and I know that's always subjective to what popular music is. But popular music, I'm not talking about that specifically, because that's changed a lot, and rap is very popular now, hip hop, dance, and like Ariana Grande and shit. I don't know. I'm specifically talking about rock. Multiple genres of rock, heavy metal, punk, old school shit, the classic stuff. But that's more of what I listen to. And the reason I listen to that stuff is this now, like the stuff that is made now is quite different than that. It doesn't have the same like soul. It doesn't have the same energy as old music does. Again, specifically rock. A lot of it sounds really overproduced and like, just doesn't sound like a raw rock and roll song should sound. And I know that's probably just what the technology is getting better and it sounds better, but I just feel like it's almost like new rock from like, I would say pretty much from like 2010 on, as far as like popular, what's being played on the radio is just shit, just truly shit. It's just, they all sound the same. The drums sound like they're electronically produced. Like it's not even like a person playing it. The riffs are too clean. There's like, it's just different, And I'm used to, my favorite band is Metallica. I'm not afraid to say that. I love Metallica so much. And they, in the 80s is when they peaked. I can admit that, but they made that music, and that was maybe not as popular, but it definitely broke some ground and like set things up for the future. But like with this type of music now, I'm like, what are they setting up for the future generations? I just don't feel it, I don't feel it as much. And maybe that's just because I have a bias, and I know that all music and all art basically is subjective, and it's your opinion, and it's how you feel about the art or the music or whatever it may be. But it's just, I'm like, I want to listen to new music. I want to listen to new things. I want to support new bands. It's hard for me to it's hard to find them, and that's just me being lazy. They don't get radio play or Spotify play, or I don't even know how a band gets popular now. Just a cool video on YouTube, or just like you know what it is? You know how, so I guess one of the newer bands that I've discovered recently within the past couple of years, you know, is like Greta Van Fleet. Like, they're an old school sounding band, and they're young kids, like 19 to 23. I think they're a bunch of brothers. They're super young. But I discovered them by a Facebook post, a Facebook video that went viral. It had like 19 million views or something, them playing live. And I was blown away because they sounded like, they sounded just like Led Zeppelin. And it was dope, just really, really dope to see that like emerge. They've not fallen off yet. I'm not saying that, but their popularity has diminished a bit. They kind of hit the scene, and you know, they're touring and doing their thing, making new albums. Good for them. But they're like one of the few bright points, and you know, like I said, in the past decade of music, of rock music for me, that's kind of made me feel how the old music makes me feel. Like when I listen to like Zeppelin, like I feel that shit. Like I feel Robert Plant's just vocals just going into my fingers and just ripping through you. And like, you know, the Jimmy Page's guitar just just having sex with that thing, dude, you know? And you can feel that shit. But it's like when I listen to like new bands, like I don't know, Five Finger Death Punch, okay? Horrible band. Fucking horrible band. But like, listen to their songs. I'm not saying go listen to their songs, but go maybe just pull up a clip on YouTube of 2 of their songs. They'll sound the exact same. Like, it'll be like dun 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 dun, and it'll go, and that's all it is. And it sounds like a fucking, like, computer is making the sound. It doesn't sound like the people are playing it. It just doesn't have that soul, dude. You know, there's not that connection to the rawness of the instruments. Fuck, I'm getting deep. There's not that connection to the rawness of the instruments, you know? And I think that's what my main gripe is. Like, even like old Metallica, old Slayer, old, like, you know, old thrash metal, or even like even old hair metal, like Motley Crue and stuff. That was very, very popular rock back in the 80s. Motley Crue was like kings of the world. And and their sound was raw and like good to me. I don't like hair bands a lot. I don't like hair metal or 80s, you know, I don't like that whole glam metal thing, but Motley Crue is the one that I actually did enjoy. And it's just so strange now that we don't have bands like that anymore. We don't have bands like Zeppelin or Metallica or even the Stones or the Beatles. The Stones are still touring. That's why we don't have bands like that. It's like there's not been a revolutionary, you know, it's just hard to explain. Like in the past 10 years, I'm saying, like, there's new bands that I like, you know, from like 2000-ish on, like Chevelle. I really, really like Chevelle. Mastodon, I really like Mastodon a lot. And they're like kind of that flavor. Like, I know there's some underground shit, obviously. Everybody likes, you know, goes deep in their music, and like I know there's like hardcore bands that are really good, and like you know, new metal bands that are really good, new heavy metal bands, and like death metal bands. And like, I'm not specifically saying that. I'm just trying to say of like bands that would get radio play, even though the radio is pretty much dead now, but like popular bands that, so that this music can go on to new generations. That's what I think. That's what I'm trying to say, is like if Led Zeppelin and the Stones and Metallica, if they weren't as popular back in their time, I don't know if their music would have reached me or my generation or the generation before me or whatever it may be. You know, like popularly, there's always going to be music heads that go into record stores or go dive into the, you know, the internet now and find everything on there. But you know, it's like, I kind of want rock to be popular again, I guess is what I'm saying. Is like I want people to, I want there to be something for the future to listen to of now. I know that sounds weird the way I'm saying it, but it's like, but again, that's just subjective, and art is all subjective, and people may have different opinions. And I'm not saying I just like rock music. I love rap, I love hip hop, I love electronic music, I love, softer, I actually don't really like soft music. It kind of has to be upbeat for me, but I know like hip hop, there's going to be great hip hop for people to listen to in the future. I know mumble rap gets talked shit on a lot, but I don't think it's really mumble rap. I think it's just subjective. Again, it's just different things that people are doing now. And that's great to see everybody expressing how they feel. And it's just different because for me personally, that type of music, rock and like the older stuff, makes me feel things, that the new music doesn't make me feel. That could be nostalgia. Even though I wasn't around for a lot of the music that I listened to, I get that kind of nostalgic feel. And like, I don't know. I just feel like I want music to change. I want a resurgence of like, maybe like a renaissance of good music, if you will. I mean, I know I'm not the only person who feels like this, especially in the rock community, if you will. And I know there's great bands, and a lot of my generation likes pop punky bands, and they're all great, and that's fantastic. But like, I grew up listening to like 106.7 KBPI, and like when I was like in 6th, 7th grade, they shifted to like just this shitty music, and now they'll still play some old stuff every now and again. It's not even 106.7 anymore. It's like 107.9. I haven't turned on the radio, and honestly haven't turned on the radio in my car in the past 2 cars I've had in like 5 or 6 years. I haven't turned on the radio. It's always been my phone. And I'll listen to like radio on my phone, radio on Spotify, which isn't really radio. It's just like, different stuff of the thing you're listening to. It's just like, it's just a different time. And maybe I should have been born earlier, but just rock is just dying, and it's so weird. Like, I don't know. Like, even like in the early 90s, like Nirvana, like they made grunge really, really popular. Like really, really popular. They were the biggest band of the early 90s for sure. Nirvana was. And they had that raw sound and like that rawness to them, and it reached a lot of people, It was like a revolution, And I feel like Led Zeppelin and like the Stones and Beatles, they were like that. And it's like, who can you think of a band within the past 20 years, so from 2000 on, that had that type of impact on music? I'm kind of lost about that. Like, we had our generation, of like new metal, and like kind of was popular. Like Linkin Park was a very popular band, and like, that type of stuff. And like I said, Chevelle came out of that type of movement. Mastodon came out of that movement. But those aren't really huge bands. Like a lot of people probably don't listen to Mastodon. That's true. Like, but a lot of, like, everybody and their fucking mom in the 90s could tell you a Nirvana song. Everybody. And it's just like, we don't have that revolution anymore in rock, and we have different revolutions in music. 100%. Like pop music, like the boy bands and stuff. And I think, that's probably just the landscape and culture of music just changing, just in general. So I just probably need to get with the freaking times, honestly. That's what this whole podcast is about, is me updating my musical tastes. Because I just am stuck in the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s. Like, dude, I listen to the same music as my grandpa. He's like 65 years old or something. He's older than that, but yeah, like, that's weird. It's not really weird. It's just like, I like that music. And I'm like, I'm not sick of listening to that music. I just want there to be something that I could be a part of. That's exactly it. I want something that I can be a part of. All the bands I listen to are like dead or old as shit, or like I got to experience Metallica. And that was one of the best moments of my life was seeing Metallica. I saw them when they were old, and like, granted, they put on an amazing show because they had the pyrotechnics and everything, but like if I could have seen Metallica in the 80s, if I could experience that like at a small club or something, that would be dope. But like I can't. What am I gonna experience now of like the music? Like I am going to see Mastodon and like at the Fillmore, which isn't a small club, but it's a smaller venue. It's not a stadium, so that's gonna be tight. It's just weird that like I kind of wish there was another rock and roll revolution, or like just musical revolution that we can get behind. And maybe it's just my time has passed. Fuck, I'm not that old though. Like shit, dude. Come on. I just need to get with the times. Honestly. I do like the new hip hop, the new type of stuff. I used to talk mad shit about like 21 Savage and stuff, but I like him. Especially I like him now that he's British. I love those fucking memes, man. Those 21 Savage British memes. God damn, that shit is gold. But I like stuff like that. Like I'll listen to, like Childish Gambino, and I love all that stuff. That's the musical revolution now. That's great. But I want a rock and roll revolution again. Let me be part of that shit. Let me like. I saw Korn. Like they faded, and they make not that good of music anymore. Really don't make good music at all. Yeah, that's another thing is like the music, the bands I listen to, not only are they old as shit, but the new music they're trying to produce is poopy. It sounds the same as everything else. It's like the producers they all get in a room and they're like, let's make it all sound the fucking same. Like let's take the rawness out of this rock and roll and just make it all sound like it's electronically produced. Like, no, we have that kind of music. Nate. Update your musical taste, my friend. Jesus. But, that was just a little rant. I was thinking, like I said, I just get super stoned and listen to music for many hours at a time. So I thought I'd share my thoughts with you guys. But what do you guys listen to? I know a lot of my friends and a lot of my friend group, they're always listening to the newest hip hop, the newest rap. Keeps me updated. And I love that stuff. It's great. It's just, it doesn't speak to me as much as the rock and punk and metal and all that shit does. But, yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for doing whatever you're doing. Avengers Endgame is coming out soon, guys. Get ready for that shit. Lots of videos. I'm trying to decide if I should do a podcast of ranking all the movies before Endgame, or make it like a super long video, or like do it in podcast form. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. I don't know if you want to see that or how you'd want to watch that or consume that, because it's going to be long either way. It's going, I have to dive into 21 fucking movies. But thanks, guys. Hope you have a great week. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for doing all of your beautiful things that you do. Thanks, guys. Check me out on Instagram. Thanks, guys. Thanks, though. Check me out on Instagram at Garzanate. Search the hashtag Talking Tommyrot. I just don't want to say goodbye because I don't know. Just like, I don't know. But we're going to end the podcast here. So, bye. Bye. Thank you. See you next time. More podcasts coming soon. More guests coming soon. More videos. Be on the lookout. I love you all so much. At American. Okay, bye. Bye.